Hi there, hope you're well. I just wanted to explain a little bit about our online mediation service. Often in mediations, face-to-face mediations, one of the key challenges is the logistics of arranging the mediation. So getting the parties involved in the same venue at the same time. So whether that's due to geographical location or general timings, it can sometimes be a matter of weeks before people are available for a mediation. And as we all know, the sooner you can try to resolve a dispute, the better. So we do offer an online mediation service, which pretty much is exactly the same as a face-to-face mediation. But there are actually some benefits, especially to the participants and to the client who's funding the mediation, and I'll come on to explain those. But I thought I'd just take the opportunity of explaining how mediation works from an online perspective. So the system that we use is this system that I'm talking to you through now. And as you can see, it's very much like having a one-to-one conversation. Some people think that an online mediation might mean that you don't really pick up on the body language, but as we all know, body language really comes from the upper body. So whilst you might lose a little bit, it's very minimal, and you really do pick up on the body language. I will know if somebody sat back with their arms folded, and I will pick up on the vibes if I'm the mediator as regards how participants are feeling, and we can have that same conversation and certainly help them with any emotions or anything like that. You don't lose any of that through online mediation. If I take workplace mediation as an example and talk through the process, how it happens with online, we start with the same as we do with any mediation. We start with the mediation agreement, and that's a document that's signed by the participants and by the mediator. The only difference online is how you sign. It's emailed to the participants, they read the agreement and they sign it through a DocuSign process online, which means that the mediator and the participants all receive a signed copy of the agreement. It is actually more efficient that way than doing it the traditional sign it and scan it and email it back route. So that's absolutely fine. As normal, we send out a commonly asked questions and answer document. That's purely by email, and the participants get the chance to read that prior to any other conversations. So as with any other mediation, we also offer a pre-call with each party, and that's really to discuss the questions and answers document, the process, and answer any questions that anybody may have regarding what will happen on the day, what if this happens, what if that happens, and really is designed to allay any fears that parties may have about the mediation process. But also what's really important, and the reason we do that, and how it's really effective via video conference as well, is to start building that relationship and getting to know the mediator, getting to know the various parties. And whilst you don't talk about the issue itself during that pre-call, you do start to build that relationship, which we all know is so important when you're trying to resolve issues and build trust. So that happens very effectively, almost like I'm having a conversation with you now, one-to-one via video. So then we move on to the mediation day itself. And in workplace mediation, we spend at least half the day normally in separate rooms. So the mediator will talk to each party in private rooms. In face-to-face mediation, that's a private room in a hotel or in the company premises. Online mediation, the individual sat in the comfort of their own home or in their own office. But it's the same principle. They're in a private, confidential conversation with the mediator one-on-one. And the system that we use is fully encrypted end-to-end, so there's no worry about anybody hacking the meetings. The meeting's locked off from any other participants. So that all works perfectly fine, exactly the same as it would in face-to-face mediation. The only difference is probably a positive one for the participants. So often people are a little bit concerned about the face-to-face meeting, especially when we get together with the other party. That can cause some concern for people, and it's very different face-to-face walking into a room with somebody than their face and voice turning up on a screen. It is slightly less, gives them a little less anxiety. So that's certainly a benefit. And that's the next stage of the process. Once the mediator has been having those conversations with the individuals and shuttling between the rooms, having those confidential conversations and hopefully sharing some good information so that they're almost having a conversation but never been in the same room, we then bring the parties together. And again, online, we do that virtually. So suddenly, rather than me being in a room with one person, there will be 3 of us in that same room, having that same conversation. The mediator's able to facilitate that conversation perfectly well online. And it is exactly the same process. The individuals are hopefully going to come to a resolution and some sort of agreement on the way they're going to work going forward. If we need to document those things, we can do that online. We can share the documents. We can annotate the document as we go. And if there's a need to sign any agreements as a result of that, we can use the same process online to sign those agreements. So we get to the same resolution through online mediation as we do with face-to-face mediation. So I mentioned earlier some benefits to the client, and that's really about cost. So obviously, if I'm a mediator and I'm going to travel 200 miles to your venue, I'm going to incur transport costs. I'm probably going to need a hotel for overnight, given the distance. And obviously none of those costs apply because if I'm the mediator, I'm in the office as I am now. I'm conducting that mediation from my office. Similarly, the parties are in their own home or in their own office, so have no travel costs. And then the other additional cost, the only other additional cost to face-to-face mediations is the venue itself. Should companies not have their own venues that we can use, then we need to book hotel rooms or other conferencing facilities where we need preferably 3 rooms, but definitely at least 2 rooms so that we have those confidential conversations. And again, because I'm in the office and because the parties are at home or in their offices, then there's no need for those accommodation costs either. So there is quite a significant cost benefit to online mediation. And I think the final point I would make is that because parties are in their own space, their space that they're comfortable in, their house, their office, and during break time, because there are natural breaks, lots of them within mediation processes, whilst the mediator's talking to the other party, they can go and make a cup of tea in their own kitchen, in their own facilities, and they're just in a comfortable surrounding, which does help people to open up a little bit and to participate well in the mediation. So online mediation is a perfectly effective process. If there are challenges with getting people in the same venue or the same room, then that's no reason to not carry on with a mediation. It's perfectly available and perfectly effective online. So if you've got any disputes as ever, then obviously give us a call, whether that's face-to-face mediation or online. And if you've got any questions, then just give us a call. Have a good day and speak to you soon. Take care.